We all know that New Mexico has been highly reliant on federal dollars, and those dollars are diminishing. The private sector must take up the slack in our economy and create new jobs. What can state government do to strengthen the private sector's ability to grow jobs? Governor Martinez is first.
New Mexico has been extremely dependent on federal funding, as I said before. We are one of the top states who depend on the federal dollar. And we're going to keep fighting for those labs and our military bases to stay here in New Mexico. But we have to diversify our private sector. We have to bring jobs of all kinds to New Mexico to make up for the loss of those jobs, for the budget cuts, the federal budget cuts that are taking place. What state government must do is live within its means and always have a balanced budget so that it is predictable to the businesses that are here and that will come here. We also have to support our small businesses through the Office of Small Business Advocacy and making sure that they can get through that red tape when they don't have the money for that, for the lawyer or the lobbyist or the accountant, and make sure that they can stay alive, open their doors and keep them open and create more jobs. We have to make New Mexico more competitive. We have to recruit companies to New Mexico and ensure that our small businesses stay in New Mexico. Never has New Mexico been in the mind of so many different states and now countries in the world. I am very proud of the fact of what we have done through the jobs package. And it was a bipartisan jobs package that was passed in the legislature. Now New Mexico is being noticed. It is being noticed as being open for business. We have rolled out the welcome mat and companies are coming. We haven't finished the job yet. We need to continue to work hard. You know, and my opponent, again, he opposed that bipartisan tax package, and we need to continue to create jobs. We need to have that in order to remain competitive. He wants to raise taxes on small businesses and families. I don't. I kept my promise. We balanced that budget, and we're creating jobs.
Attorney General King.
Thank you. Well, let me say that of the two of us up here, I probably am the one that is more well qualified to talk about the issue of improving the economy as federal jobs go down. As Mr. Walsh pointed out, I was, for 2 years almost, the head of the Office of Worker and Community Transition in the Department of Ed. It was my job to help generate job-producing activity in states where the Department of Energy was closing their offices or cutting down on their number of employees. Over the course of time, the Department of Employment went from about 150,000 employees down to 100,000. So huge cuts. We actually survived some of those cuts in New Mexico because we had a congressional delegation that was able to protect our land. We didn't have so many cuts in New Mexico. But I have experience all over the country. And what you do is first you have to go in and do what's called a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You have to get the whole community together and say, what do we have to do to deal with this? I was just up in Cuesta talking with miners in Cuesta. And they got laid off because they closed the mine. And nobody has come up there yet to sit down with them and say, what are the strengths in the community? There was a photo of it, but there's no real discussion of what are the strengths in the community. We need to get in with communities that are impacted here and find out what they can do. And then we need to invest in the infrastructure that it takes to build incubators, to build buildings where new companies can come in, to renovate buildings that are being used for one purpose, to repurpose them. We need to do job training for people so that they have the new skills that they need. In Cuesta, there's going to be a lot of reclamation going on there. So we need to be upfront training those workers to do the reclamation so that when the reclamation jobs come in, they're ready to go. We need to have a plan in place to deal with the downsizing of federal facilities when they happen. But we also need a governor that will go to Washington, D.C. and fight for our federal facilities and say that they're important to us, that we are important to the national economy, that we're important to the national security and the national defense, and that we in New Mexico are proud of the work that our labs do.